Okay, good afternoon and good evening to those who are joining in from Myanmar. My name is Tinwin and I'm from TheSaWorks, and I'm here with Goang to present the update from for WynePay deployment in Myanmar. A little bit about TheSaWorks. TheSaWorks is a fintech company launched in 2016 with the mission of increasing financial inclusion. And we are currently servicing 71 MFIs with about 3 million borrowers in Myanmar. Our services range from providing financial institutions, credit information, exchange, providing core banking support, and most recently, the payment switch running on Mujaloop in Myanmar. We're calling it WynePay. So our journey with Mujaloop started in 2021 April. We started with taking a lot of Mujaloop courses online, and it's immensely helpful and really highly recommended if you haven't signed up for it yet. For them yet, there are quite a few courses over there. We're implementing this in 3 phases. The first phase is the friendly user testing phase. It's with very limited user group. In our case, it's just with employees of MFIs. We are transacting real repayment loans for the employees of MFIs, and we're currently testing that now. Our next phase is for closed user group testing, and the user base is a bit more expanded, and we're thinking of piloting with a bunch of branches from each MFIs or so to expand the user base, and finally to open up to all and go live. Our friendly user testing phase started in 2021 December, and we started out with 3 MFIs and 2 wallets. Currently, we have 4 wallets and 4 MFIs in our friendly user testing phase. We are really transacting 20 to 30 loan repayments and 400,000 chuts per month. It's not really a whole lot of number, considering that we have 33 DFSBs who have signed up for a letter of intent. The reason being is that we are waiting to go into CUG phase, and it requires a regulatory approval. Our regulatory engagement through local partners have been progressing steadily, and the WynePay presentation has been well received, and we're hoping to get the authorization very soon. Then we can go to closed user groups. Actually, we have a couple of DFSPs like MFIs who are integrated tested. We can't quite go to closed user group with them yet, or they can't quite participate in FUT as yet because they don't have the employee loans yet. We're only transacting employee loans at the moment right now. So while we are waiting for the approval, we try to tackle a few things, and we would like to highlight 3 things that we worked on would be beneficial to others who are looking to launch Hub or who are looking to join Hub from the DFSP perspective. So we're working on scaling the Hub environment and also empowering DFSPs to join WynePay, and we're also making WynePay more inclusive. So in preparation for WynePay to go live, we had to redeploy the environments from scratch, and we're using the IAC latest one. Thank you, David and Oscar over there, for deploying these, and we'll share the details later about our experience. And if you're thinking of launching Hub, we want to share our lesson learned and whatnot through our experience. The other one is in the last quarter, we onboarded 2 new DFSPs. One of them wanted to host their connector. We're PM4ML, payment manager for Mujaloop, in their own environment. So from Wyne's perspective, we would like to encourage any DFSPs for any which way they want to join, because we would like them to join WynePay and transact, participate in WynePay. So our options are for them to host a PM4ML in their own environment. We will help them do so. And we have a use case, so we'd like to share it here. And the other is either hosted with us, hosted with our technology partner, or hosted other connectors like Payment Hub EE or SDK. They have quite a slew of options. This particular quarter, we happen to help them self-hosted option, and would like to share it. If you're thinking about hosting it in your environment, we want to shed some light on what's involved. Lastly, we worked on making WynePay more inclusive through payment portal. We want to make sure that everybody can be a part of WynePay initiative, join this excited journey. So we built this payment portal and planning to pilot with 2 wallets and 1 MFI, and we're actively engaging with them to get started. With that, would you like to share the details? Okay.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. So here, okay, I will start sharing about this deploying the hub environment. Okay, the first thing we do is we create an AWS account for each environment. So here, as you see, we created 2 AWS accounts. One is for UAT and staging environment, and another one is for production environments. The reason why we create 2 AWS accounts is that because of the environment management and also the security. In our WynePay, we use UAT account for component testing, some of our development works, all the things we are doing inside the UAT environment. For staging environment, we are using it for onboarding and also the end-to-end testing. In the production environments, as you know, we are using only for the production purposes. Sometimes we also create ephemeral environments inside the production AWS account. The reason is, for example, in Moja they got some breaking changes. Before we are releasing this thing onto the production environments, we tried it out on the ephemeral environment. So if everything is safe, we release this one onto the production environment. Okay, so this is the plan. Before we are executing this deployment, we have this plan. Here, we list out several items as that we need to emphasize more when we are doing the hub deployment, but I won't be reading all these items. And so here I would like to highlight some of these items. The first one is log retention periods. By default, the log retention period is 72 hours. So when we deploy this hub, we have to change it to 90 days. So for that reason, for the PVC of this DBS, we also have to configure to be a 500 gigabytes so that it will have enough space to hold the logs that we retain for 90 days. So these 2 things I would like to highlight. Okay. The next one is the accurate execution. For us, we use these 4 steps. The first one is to configure the bootstrap. Here is something like we are configuring about the networking infrastructure, routing, gateway, NAT, also the VPN setup. After that, we configure the CI/CD job inside the GitLab. Normally, we will have to use this CI/CD job to launch the deploy the hub. So after we configure this CI/CD job, we deploy the hub. Once the hub is deployed, we onboard the DFSB onto the hub, and then we try to test it out using the Gutenberg test cases. So everything is fine. We launch the hub environments. Normally, last time we spent only 2 days to launch 3 environments in the WynePay deployment. So while doing this hub deployment, we also received some lessons learned. The first one is a Docker Hub rate limit issue. Normally for the Docker Hubs, if we are using the anonymous user, they have some limits. It is 100 pools per 6 hours per IP address. So because of this, when we deploy the WynePay hub, we cannot do UAT and staging on the same day. That's why we took 2 days. Actually, normally we can spend only 1 day to complete the whole hub deployment. Okay, another one is the LSD IP issue. This thing, because of our requirements, we need the 20 LSD IP for the same reason, VPN setups or all the things. But in AWS, default one is 5 LSD IP. So we also have to request this thing. And the other two is that the other tools are related to the PM4ML issue. The first one is currently PM4ML IEC support only one master node. So that is not good for the highest availability architecture. And the next one is, although we are not required to set up this internet PM4ML for the production, we still need to onboard this one. Okay, these are all about our lesson. Okay, empowering the FSB. In the last quarter, as just now Martin mentioned, we onboarded two wallets. The first one is Momeni, and then another one is the CitizenPay. Out of these two, Momeni use the self-hosting methods, meaning like they build everything by themselves, and then they launch the PM4ML instance by themselves. Actually, this is the first time for us to help this self-hosting TFSB. So this is how we help them to set up PM4ML inside their own AWS account. For us, we created required documentations. We also provide the IAC template to build PM4ML inside their account. And we also organize some training related to the PM4ML configurations. And we also provide all the technical services or technical supports required by them. And also we provided the payment manager training. At the same time, from the Momeni side, they built their PM4ML, and then they also created their own Go connector, and then they connect to their wallet system. Then they integrated their system to get to WynePay public API. So this onboarding method is the first one for us, and then Momeni is the one who did this one. So we also like to say congratulations to the Momeni teams for this experience. The whole process actually took only 1 week. Now Momeni is up and running inside the FUD phases, and they are performing the real transition. Okay. Sorry. So let me continue how we are making WynePay more inclusive. Okay. In Myanmar, there are many ML5s. They are using the legacy system, and they also have no access to the interoperable platforms, but they still want to make disbursement. They still want to make something like a salary payrolls to their staff using a variety of wallets. But if they want to do such kind of use cases, what they have to do is they have to go to the wallet system. Let's say their borrowers are from wallet B. So they have to go to wallet B, and then they have to do some bilateral agreement. Next time, their borrowers are from wallet C, so they have to go to wallet C. They have to do the same thing, bilateral agreement. And then wallet B may ask them to use the portal or CSV upload. So they have to do the same thing. Also for the wallet C. So in Myanmar, there are 30+ wallets. So if your borrowers are from all these wallets, you have to go to all these 30 wallets, and then you have to do the bilateral agreements. You have to access their portal. You have to follow their CSV template, then upload the data to do the disbursement, also the salary payment. So that is not efficient, very time consuming. For the reconciliation purpose, this is really a nightmare. And also how to search the transition in case you found some issue. So that is not possible too. And in Myanmar, they hold on 180+ MFI. And 80% of these MFI are not using any core banking system. They also do not have any API capabilities. So, and some of the MFI, they have an API capability, but no IT capacity to do all these things. So we just came up with a solution, which is a payment portal. Using this payment portal, MFI can make a disbursement or payroll to anyone who participated inside the WynePay. So this payment portal is actually a unifying experience for all these use cases. And for the security purpose, this payment portal uses a role-based access. And through this payment portal, you can track all the transition. You can search all the transition. Here, you also have to use a CSV file upload. But the difference is, previously, you have to follow 30 different CSV formats. But if we are using our payment portal, you just need to follow only one CSV format. the rest, the payment portal will handle. Okay. So here is some of the screenshot from our payment portals. As I mentioned just now, our payment portal use the rule-based access. So here is demo screen. Actually, this is the running screen. We are deploying this one in our staging environment. So here we can create this rule-based grant privilege. The next one is the CSV upload. Here, if you upload the CSV, it will upload to our job queue. The job queue will check all the records that you uploaded. Then from that records, it will check, okay, how many are processed, how many are failed. So based on that, you can submit the task to your supervisor. For example, this CSV may be uploaded by loan officer, and then she can submit this task to her supervisor. So her supervisor can see these tasks, and then she can approve or reject these requests here. Okay, and then the last thing is search the transition. So just now, if we are using 30 different formats, it is not possible to search all these transitions that you uploaded. But here, we are using the same border. So you can easily search all the transitions that you did also in the detail, yes. Okay, the last one is roadmap. Right now, we are also developing the TFSP portal, which is to allow our WynePay participants to monitor their daily transition. Also, if they want to download the transition reports, we can download it. This one also use the rule-based access model. So currently we are doing architecture, software design, and we are going to start implementing this thing. So hopefully in PI 21, we may have some updates about this thing. Okay, the last thing we have to say thank you to all the organizations or individuals, all the scheme council members, especially Mujalu Foundations and also the GATE Foundation. Okay, by saying that, let me end my presentation.
Thank you, guys. Any questions? Jane, and 1, 2, 3. All right.
Mine is less of a question and more of a comment. I'd like you please to just tell us again those two statistics that you said in the beginning. One is how long it took you to deploy the merge loop environments, and the other one was how long it took more money to deploy a payment manager and get onto the environments. And the significance of this goes back to David Fry and the work that he's been doing in making the IAC as deployable as it is, but the work that FitzWorks has done to learn and become highly skilled operators of a merge loop switch and the payment managers. And David, yeah.
For hub deployments, normally we can finish in few hours, but we purposely spend more times because we are making sure all the components are working fine. We are double checking everything. So we took 2 days. 2 days because we had to deploy 3 environments. Yes. For more many things, for more many things, we spent only 1 week to complete the development and deployments. Yes.
Thank you very much. That's great. But I was, and maybe this is an IAC question, but you said that you were doing real transactions with real users from the friendly user test, and I still love that term. But then you went and said you used the latest version of the IAC. How did you preserve the data of people's payments and payment status and stuff like that? Does IAC do that automatically? And this is something we were discussing the other day, but your real life situation would be great. The experience would be great.
So no, we didn't carry over because we're in this testing phase in the beginning. So when we started out, we were still in FUT, and in the last quarter, we rebuilt the environment from scratch. So we didn't carry over. It was a conscious decision, and we made an agreement with people as well. So because of the new start fresh thing, we kind of took all the backup and report and making sure that users are okay with it. we're still very much in testing phase, so it gives us leeway to do certain upgrade now. But once we are in the production, we have yet to go more upgrade yet.
So what's the plan when you've got those 183 other folks on the DFS portal and for upgrading and maintenance? Have you thought that through?
Right. Well, the plan is first to make sure that if the development environment is higher than production, we'll have the ephemeral environment to make sure we test it, to make sure it's backward compatible and things. But I think the upgrade will take care of it in terms of in the production. We wouldn't start from scratch. We just had the opportunity to start from fresh because we're still in FUT and the users are okay with it to start fresh. But the newest environment we built is for production ready. Like in the beginning, we were just testing in the different FUT environment. But last quarter, we rebuilt them in the production environment. We resume it from there. So our plan is not to restart again anymore. We'll just continue using this one and upgrade it and making sure that everything is backward compatible by starting a temporary environment.
So I get that, but that's why I asked the question. Is how does that work in the future?
Right.
Thank you. There's one last question here.
Thank you. Hi. Good job. I just wanted to ask a question about the orchestrator, because here you are using the Docker Hub, right? So for the orchestrator, you are using only Swarm, or you are planning to move with Kubernetes? Because my thinking is actually with this one, if we are going to go with a Swarm at some point of time, it's going to be a little bit difficult to manage about the Docker instance and all. I don't know.
Could you repeat that?
Can I come again?
Question again?
About the Docker instance, you know, you are using the Docker Hub, you know, to go with the deployment and all. So my question is actually about how you are managing the orchestration. Are you going to orchestrate using only the Docker like a Swarm, or are you planning to go with Kubernetes so that it can become more easier for you? So because with, okay. Yeah.
Sorry, actually we use Kubernetes.
Okay,
Yes.
you are using Kubernetes. Okay, thank you.
All right. One last question. Miguel, I see your hand.
Thanks, guys. Amazing presentation. I'll make this question quick. So from the restriction from deploying environments because of the pull request limits on Docker, is that an issue? Have you guys not decided to get like an account or pay for an upgraded account, or maybe even?
Right, we haven't upgraded the account, but we didn't need to because it was just testing. We were quite ambitious trying to do 2 environments in the same day, but it's not a big deal. We just have to split it different days. For 3 environments, we just go one by one. The environment itself, it took 2.5 hours, but because we had to re-onboard all the DFSBs, that took us much longer. But it's an amazing feat. That's why I was like, IEC people very appreciative of it, because we came from a long way. A year ago, it was much longer with a lot of tweaks, manual here and there. Here, it's like really amazing, smooth job that we're able to do. So thank you so much.
So just a quick comment. There is as a part of the IEC, it's deploy. We have to make sure why it's not working for you, but we already have a server, a Nexus server that caches all those images so that the second time that you do an environment, it hits the same cache. So it shouldn't be giving you that problem. If it is, then we need to figure out why. But that's already built into the IEC.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. A round of applause for that. Right, this brings us to break time. So I'll give you 10 minutes. Please be back in the room at 3:50 for the final 2 sessions of the day. A quick reminder, at the end of the day, we will have a picture day. So we will all go out, stand next to the sun, out in the sun, sorry, have our picture taken, including the good folks on Zoom. So please do stick around. And then later on in the evening from 6, there's a networking dinner. So please keep that in mind. See you in 10 minutes.